Because Muslims believed that ihsan, which literally means in Arabic, if you just took the literal meaning of the word, it means to make beautiful. The muhsin is the one that makes something hasan. Allah's names are al-asma al-husna, the beautiful names. The muhsin is the one who makes things beautiful. And our Prophet ﷺ said, Inna Allaha katab al-ihsana ala kulli shay'in. God has decreed excellence, the making of beautiful things in everything. It should be done with beauty. And this is why the textbooks of Muslims are museum pieces today. And I have a textbook from a Moroccan student from 200 years ago that is a stunning work of art. It was his textbook. It was the book he studied. It has his notes in it. Every time he wrote Allah in transcribing the mutun that he was studying, the text, the didactic poems he was studying, he used gold ink. What kind of people were these? And the poet said, "Tilka atharuna tadullu alayna, fanzuru ba'dana ila al-athari." These are the remnants we leave behind to indicate to you who we were. So look at what we have left behind if you want to know us. What are people going to say about us? All the pornography that this culture has produced, all the plastic, all the filth, all of the ugly buildings, all of the hideous clothing, all of the incredible, perverse plastic surgery that distorts people's bodies and faces. What are people going to say about us when they look back? I want them at least to say about some of us that we tried to maintain something. These are called ulu baqiya, the vestiges of virtue. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, would that there were more vestiges of virtue amongst them when the people became corrupted. In the commentaries they say ulu baqiya are the people that cling to the virtues of a civilization that enabled it to ascend when they're losing those virtues in their descent. Those are ulu baqiya, the people that want to maintain language. Our Prophet ﷺ was the most eloquent of speakers. It's sunnah to speak beautifully. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq said, I've never heard anybody more eloquent than you, Ya Rasulullah. And he said, Bayda anni Qurayshi, tara'ra'tu fi Bani Sa'd. Could it be otherwise? I'm a Qurayshi and I grew up with Bani Sa'd. He didn't say God made me this way. He explained the sociological reasons for his eloquence. That there are reasons, there are conditions that produce beauty. And that the loss of beauty in our civilization is a terrible indication about the inner states of the people that make up this civilization. They say people dress for themselves. People used to dress for others. But we've become a selfish culture. I was in Turkey once and we went into a cafeteria and it said, serve yourself. That was their translation of self-service. And when I looked at it, it's very different from saying self-service. And it really drove home to me the reality of our culture. It's a culture that serves ourselves. And there's nothing worse than self-service. I don't want to serve myself. I want to serve my Lord and serve others as a way of serving my Lord. And that's really what we need to restore. We need to get rid of self-service. because it's destroying us as a species. The last thing I want to say about what he has to say, and this is very important to understand. He says, when he talks about the curriculum, he says it was a liberal curriculum. We now come to the main part of the curriculum, which I call liberal. The term theological may still be justifiable because it certainly had a strong theological bent. Still, in the Middle Ages, all education and all curricula were heavily tinged with theology. So a course, though to our minds heavily overweighted with theology, may still be termed liberal. Compared with the curriculum of the present day, this course has a strong resemblance to the humanistic syllabus now pursued in the German gymnasium, the French lycée, and the English public school institutions, which are the creation of the Renaissance and therefore allied to Arabic colleges. Thus, the French college, Eton College, and in some respects the old American college have a relationship with the Muslim college. This is exactly at the heart of what Zaytuna College is about. It's about recognizing that we have a shared educational tradition in the Abrahamic faith. It's a tradition that was committed to beauty, it was committed to excellence, but it was committed to the language and number arts in order to educate people in qualitative and quantitative thinking, to educate them in the beauty of language and the importance of language, that with grammar language becomes correct, with logic language becomes truthful, and with rhetoric language becomes beautiful. It was understanding these incredible aspects of what makes us human, and this is why poetry was always at the essence of Islamic education. Literature was always at the heart of Islamic education. In order to study the Quran, traditionally they considered it a prerequisite to master the Jahili poets of Arabia. Because if you can understand the Jahili poets, it becomes much easier to understand the nuances and subtleties of the Arabian language. In Arabic, there's a verse in the Quran that says, "La taqrabu zina." It says, don't go near zina. You know, like sexual improprieties. Don't go near it. La taqrabu. But it actually says, don't do it. Because if it was near, it would have said, La taqrubu. These subtleties, these nuances of the Quran are very, very difficult to master without a serious mastery of language. And grammar matters. And I drive this point home because it's real. Robert Frost said, no one who is uneducated in metaphor should be allowed out of his home. And if you think that's a facetious or a glib statement, it's actually a deeply profound statement, because this country has wreaked havoc based on a war on an abstract noun. And I really mean that. You cannot declare war on terror other than as a metaphor. But when you don't understand what a metaphor is, and you declare war on an abstract noun as if it was a concrete reality, you go about wreaking havoc in the world. Grammar matters. Language matters. This is what makes us human. I got this 2 days ago. This is from an 11-year-old girl. It's from an 11-year-old girl, Samiha, in Lilburn, Georgia. And she writes in big letters, she writes, hope is always there. Hope is always there. And she writes, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Samiha. I'm a 6th grader, and I don't know if you'll ever see this, but I want you to know I get a lot of inspiration from your college. And I'm hoping to get into this college. It sounds like a very nice one, inshallah. So, when Dr. Jackson talks about doing something for posterity, he's talking about Samiha, because I might not be here when she's ready to apply to the college. But this is what we want to do. We want to have our young people just raise their head a little higher when they know that they have models of success and models of beauty, that they can say, ISIS has nothing to do with my religion. If you want to know what my religion is about, go visit the Taj Mahal. Go visit Alhambra Palace. And hopefully go visit Zaytuna College. This is something that I remind myself of, and I remind everybody at Zaytuna, if you should rise from nowhere up to somewhere, from being no one up to being someone, be sure to keep repeating to yourself, you owe it to an arbitrary God whose mercy to you rather than to others won't bear too critical examination. Stay unassuming. If for lack of license to wear the uniform of who you are, you should be tempted to make up for it with a subordinating look or tone, beware of coming too much to the surface and using for apparel what was meant to be the curtain of the inmost soul. So, the Prophet ﷺ, what he accomplished in 23 years that transformed our world and gave it so many knowledges, so many beautiful things, stained glass, muslin, sofas, sherbet, gulab jamun. All that Indian food came out of Muslim Mughal palaces. Right? All the great Turkish food came out of the Ottoman palaces. People love Muslim food. Too many of them don't like the ones preparing it. So we need to prepare a spiritual meal for our brethren from other faiths and traditions, inshallah. We have a lot of work to do, and there was a great minister from New York, Maltby Babcock. It was a poem that I taught my boys. I had to memorize because I wanted to always remind them not to be frivolous, to be serious people. He said, be strong. We are not here to play, to dream, to drift. We have hard work to do and loads to lift. Shun not the struggle, face it, 'tis God's gift. Be strong. Say not the days are evil, who's to blame, and fold the hands and acquiesce, oh shame. Stand up, speak out, and bravely in God's name. Be strong. It matters not how deep entrenched the wrong, how hard the struggle goes, the day how long. Faint not, fight on. Tomorrow comes the song. We're doing this, inshallah, to meet our Lord with something we can at least say that we tried. Ma'diratan ila rabbikum. What we've accomplished isn't, I hope, maybe an atom's weight to the universe of atoms that our Prophet ﷺ in 23 years accomplished. But inshallah, it's something that He's pleased with, and that our Lord, first and foremost, is pleased with. Our Prophet ﷺ said, and I'll conclude with this, he said, Aslihu rihalakum, rectify your homes. Rectify your homes. That's where it begins. Aslihu rihalakum. Wa ahsinu libasakum. And make beautiful your garments. Hatta takunu ka'annakum shammatun fin nas. until it's as if you're a beauty mark amidst humanity. May Allah make our community once again a beauty mark in the midst of humanity. Thank you.